Hello, everybody. I'll give people a couple of minutes to come on in, and we'll start the live stream. All right. Let's get into this.
Sliders are your secret weapon. They're small, quick to assemble, and you can build a whole tray in about 15 minutes. The meat is one slab, the buns are in a slab. All we really gotta do is give it a little cut, stack everything up, and everyone has burgers. This is everything you love about a White Castle slider, but homemade and much better. This method starts out with a cookie sheet or a half sheet tray. I have 2 pounds of 80-20 ground beef. That means there's 80% meat, 20% fat. That's a really good meat to fat ratio for a burger. I have some finely diced white onions, salt and pepper. It's really that easy. You don't even need to oil the pan. There's enough fat in the meat to oil the pan. And all you really have to do is take the meat out of the packages and press it in. This is a critical part to our recipe because you really want this to fit the tray. So it's almost like you're patting out pizza dough into your tray. This is gonna make the burger bind together so it's not crumbly. And it's also gonna make our sliders nice and even when we cut them. The 80-20 has a good fat to lean ratio. I feel like if you're gonna use a leaner meat, you're gonna get a dry and crumbly slider. And that's not what we want. We want this to have a little meatiness, a little juiciness to it. Basically fat equals flavor, and that's what we want. As you pat this down, I want you to also remember that when this cooks, it's gonna shrink up. Take the time to spread it out as even as possible so that when it does shrink up, you have nice, even slider. So that's good. I have my meat evenly spread. I take my onions and I just spread them on the top. Make sure you get in the corners and on the edges. The finer the onions, the better, because you don't want to have big chunks of onions. You want these to kind of melt away and steam a little when we actually put these in the oven. That's beautiful. And then of course, we're gonna season this up. Some fresh cracked black pepper and some salt. And don't be skimpy with the salt. I know a lot of people are like, oh, chef, you put too much salt on things. I feel like I have a pretty good practiced hand on salt. I'm not just dumping it on, I'm going high when I season. I'm trying to get a nice dispersion on my salt. But you want this to be seasoned well. You want to taste that meat. And that's it. That's the burger meat in the pan, ready to go into the oven. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna pop this in the fridge, get all of my toppings and my buns ready. Right before the party starts, I can pop these in the broiler, cook them up, and finish assembling my sliders.
Revive your courage.
What the hell
If
was
you love
that?
to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that opens up a world of possibilities. With Venture X, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Capital One, what's in your...
So I have the buns and I have prep for garlic butter. I like to put a little bit of topping on the top of my buns. So I'm gonna make a garlic butter with some parsley and just brush it on top before they go in the oven. I think it just gives you a little more kind of that savoriness to our dish, and it makes them just slightly more impressive than just a plain slider. I have a pot, I have a stick of butter. As this butter starts to melt, I'm gonna get my garlic and I'm gonna add it to the pot. I don't really want this to brown at all. I just wanna kind of scent the butter with the chopped garlic. And I'm not too worried the butter's not melted. I really want a nice, strong garlicky flavor. My heat's at medium high right now, but I'm just trying to melt it a little quicker. I'm gonna lower it down once the butter melts to about medium. I have some fresh chopped parsley here, so I'm gonna wait till add my parsley to the end, right before we put the burgers in the oven so it stays nice and green. I can smell my garlic. It's a nice kind of mellow, sweet flavor. And that's it. The butter is melted. The garlic is lightly cooked, not brown at all. I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna put it aside, and then I'm gonna get to my buns. So I'm using Trader Joe's Hawaiian rolls. The thing here is you do not want to separate these buns at this point. Leave them in a slab. This is what makes everything so quick and easy when we put these together. You can use whatever roll you like. I just happen to prefer the Trader Joe's Hawaiian rolls. If you like a potato roll, use a potato roll. It's up to you. I just like the sweetness of these rolls. What we want to do is get our knife, a nice serrated knife, and cut them down the middle so that I have basically a slab of slider bun. They are totally intact, and that's how you want them to be. We are not building individual sliders here. We're building them in slabs, and this is what makes it so quick and easy.
Yeah, but the risk you run with that is your meat might dry out, but...
We're gonna broil these burgers for about 5 to 7 minutes, and then we're gonna build our sliders. Broiling these burgers is gonna keep them juicy. They're not gonna cook for a long time, so we retain a lot of that juiciness. We don't wanna roast these in the oven and dry them out. If you're worried about undercooking this, keep it in for a little longer. But basically, because the meat is so thin, that 5 to 7 minutes should cook it all the way through. Okay, let's throw these in the oven. It's been about 6 or 7 minutes. You'll notice that there's a fair amount of liquid in here. I'm just gonna drain it off into a bowl. Meat is ready to go, we're ready to build. I have my burgers, I have my buns, I have my cheese, I have everything next to me here. So I'm gonna take my lids, I'm gonna put them aside for now. I'm gonna get my meat, and all I really gotta do with this is cut it in half with my spatula. Fairly even. And then the meat, look at how perfectly it fits onto our slider buns. And then we take our cheese.
Melt the goddamn cheese.
Cheese it up. Don't be afraid to overlap your cheese. We're gonna put a fair amount of cheese on here. I want them to be really nice and cheesy. I'm probably gonna do like 1.5 slices per. Don't be afraid. I like to use the stuff that they slice at the deli. I think it has a little more flavor. I think it has a better texture than the slices that are in cellophane. But if that's all you have, use it. I like to sing the praises of American cheese. Some people don't, but I think it's really delicious, especially for sliders. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna top with ketchup. You don't have to be too precise.
Why the fuck? Oh, this is
now I have my
driving me nuts
pickles,
now.
1 pickle per, right on top of your ketchup. 3 across, 4 down. 2 little ones there. All right. And then we take the lids, put them on top. And then we're gonna take our garlic butter. Now I take the
your
parsley and
fucking
add it
cheese
because I want the
isn't
parsley to kind of have that nice freshness and nice color. Mix it into your garlic butter so you have a nice garlic parsley butter. Brush this really well. Get all that garlic and that butter onto your buns. Like try and scoop up some of that nice stuff. Right, if you don't want to add the garlic butter, that's fine. These burgers are really good. I'm just kind of like making it a little extra special. Chef Franking it up. You definitely can't get this at White Castle. So we're not even finished yet with these. You could eat them now and be totally satisfied and happy. Everyone around you will be satisfied and happy. But there's one last step. I'm gonna cover these with foil. Put them in the oven for about 5 minutes so that everything gets a chance to steam and meld together. It's gonna melt the cheese. The buns are gonna get soft and squishy, and it's just gonna be perfect. The oven's at 350, and we're gonna put them in there for about 5 minutes. All right, so we ready for the big reveal? Let's see how they look. I got a little knife, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut in between where all the slices are. I think these look spectacular. Anyone who likes sliders is gonna love these. Plus, we got a big stack of burgers in fractions of the time it would take to make this many burgers for everyone on the grill and then making individual patties. We got a big stack of sliders there. All right, it's time to taste, and I don't know if I can eat the whole tray, but I'm gonna just take one for now. I'm gonna stay in control, okay? I got one in the back right here. I think my bite was a little too big. It's got everything that a classic slider has. It's meaty, it's cheesy, the bun is nice and soft, a little sharpness of that pickle, the ketchup, the garlic.
All right. Let's go with everyone's favorite version of Ned Flanders.
Yep, let's do the taste test. I want to make sure I get a little pea and a carrot in there.
Oh, God, peas.
That is definitely delicious. Time for that delicious bite. Cheers, my friend. The flavor on that rice is incredible. In this video, we're cooking 3 of the most popular recipes for Mexican rice, arroz mexicano. Now, my Mexican rice video, Cooking with Mama Tex, is my most popular video, but you guys still have questions about it. Arnie, why don't you use frozen veggies? And why don't you use water? And Arnie, do I have to use chicken broth? Is it salted or unsalted? What about bell peppers, onions, and cilantro? So in this video, I'm answering those questions, and I'm gonna show you 3 ways to cook delicious arroz mexicano. First recipe is a simple recipe that's always a crowd pleaser for everyone. The second recipe is for the chicken lover, because we're bringing in some consomme and chicken broth. But then again, some of y'all have questions about the chicken bouillon. And in the third recipe, we're gonna saute some veggies to add some extra flavor into the rice. And during the boil, we're gonna finish this with some cilantro to bring out even more flavor to this dish. So no matter what your preference is, one of these recipes is gonna be the one that you love. And at the end of this video, I'm gonna share with you guys which one of these 3 recipes is my personal favorite. Now, the Mama Tex recipe for seasoning rice starts with 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, half a teaspoon of cumin, 1 teaspoon of salt, and a pinch of oregano. So in this video, I'm gonna be using my Arnie's Asada Mexican rice seasoning. This is a solid base to build flavor in all of these recipes that you can also tweak to your preference. So after watching this video, let me know in the comments below which one of these recipes is your favorite, or is the Mama Tex recipe still the queen of all Mexican rice recipes? And also let me know what would you add or take away to make these recipes even better. Now, Mama Tex might be the
Well, meat for one.
Mexican rice queen, but once upon a time, she had to learn how to cook it too. Now, it was actually Abuela Lala, my grandma, who taught my mom how to cook Mexican rice. She also taught my wife, Terry. Abuela Lala's technique was to really saute and stir that rice till it got a really nice darker brown color. So we're gonna use that technique for rice number 3. And while Mama Tex learned Mexican rice from Abuela Lala, she doesn't brown it quite that much. So we're using the Mama Tex browning method for rice number 2. And for today's first Mexican rice recipe, we're using Terry's technique, which browns the rice even less. First thing we're gonna need to do is we need to warm up 2 cups of water. We're gonna go ahead and let this pan start getting warmed up. We need 1 tablespoon of oil. So you wanna make sure that oil gets all the way around on the whole pan. Now, when I add the water or liquid to my rice pan, I don't want cool water. Now, you can do it any way you like, but personally, I like to have warm water because the rice is warm, the pan's warm, everything blends better together that way. You can see that my water is starting to steam a little bit. I have already turned off the burner, and my oil, you can see, starting to separate a little bit, so it's time to get the rice on. You may want to play with the settings on your stove, depending on what kind of pan you're using.
Oh, okay,
I like to split my rice out right about now. And this is 1 cup of rice, and I literally am following the instructions on the back of this shaker right here. This is the first and the easiest recipe that we can do Mexican rice. I'm starting to smell the aroma a little bit. You can see a little bit of browning already. We like to use Jasmine long grain rice, sometimes Comet long grain rice, sometimes Riceland. Sometimes it just depends on what we picked up at the store. We're gonna add the water nice and slow. Remember, the pan's hot, your water's hot, so be very careful. I like to add a little at a time, because it is gonna make all that noise. You're gonna get a little bit of splatter. There we go. And remember, this was just a little over 2 cups. We're gonna go ahead and add our tomato sauce. And I like to get in here and get all of it out with a little extra water. This is 1/3 of a cup of tomato sauce. And so we're gonna stir it up a little bit more. At this point, we have 4 ingredients in here. We have oil, we have water.
So pretty much this is a classic Mexican rice.
And we have rice and tomato sauce. Now it's time to add our powder. And this recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of my Mexican rice seasoning. We already gave you all my Mama Tex recipe. This seasoning has everything you need to do it perfect every single time. The easy way. You want to put the lid on, just leave it on, and set a timer for 15 minutes. Every stove's a little bit different. On ours, it works exactly 15 minutes. You may have to cook it once or twice on yours to get it to perfection. It's been 5 minutes. I want to point something out to y'all. When you see a nice gentle roll of steam like that, that is cooking perfect. If the pan is bubbling and the lid's bouncing all over, you're way, way too hot. If you don't see any steam, then you need to crank your heat up just a little bit. But you can tell by just that nice gentle flow of steam coming out of there, we have the perfect temperature going on our pan. You have to trust the process. We have not touched this lid. for 15 minutes. But now we're gonna let the rice rest for 2 more minutes. Then we're gonna remove our lid and fluff it up a little bit. All right, it's been 2 minutes. Let's take the lid off and take our first.
That is one thing about rice. You basically have to trust that it's cooking all right.
Ooh, look at that beauty. Beautiful. You folks saw just how easy it was. Just a couple
And
of...
also, I know it's way easier to do instant rice or minute rice, but take the 20 minutes and cook real rice.
Simple steps and the right ingredients, and you have this beautiful rice. Let's fluff it up a little bit. This is the next step that we like to do in our house. All right, let's see what it tastes like. Yep. Yep, absolutely delicious rice. The color is beautiful, it's perfect, it's not sticky, it's not dry. That, my friends, is a perfect pan of rice. Y'all saw how quick and easy that was to make. Now this is rice number 2. I already have my 1 tablespoon of oil and my 1 cup of rice already browning. It's time to warm up our liquid, which in this case for rice number 2 is 2 cups of unsalted chicken broth. All right, so I've got that on high. Our rice is browning really nice. We're gonna go ahead and brown it a little.
And actually, if you want to try rice a different way, yeah, chicken broth, beef broth, veggie broth.
Bit more on rice number 2 than on rice number 1. This is a preference thing. Some people like to brown their rice a lot, some very little. We're taking this one just a little bit further, a little more brown than the first one. We're gonna go ahead and add in a jalapeno to this one. Now those of you who follow me, you know that I like a little bite in everything. So we're gonna throw a little jalapeno in there. We're gonna stir it around a little bit more. And this is just to add a little bit of a kick to a rice. I know not everybody puts jalapeno in their rice, but it is a thing.
Well, how the
in
fuck
Mexican
is the
cooking,
jalapeno
believe it or
supposed
not.
to do anything
We have just
if
the
it's
right
just
amount
gonna
of
be a
browning
whole
that I'm looking
pepper?
for rice number 2. We're gonna add this chicken broth slowly. Be very careful because it's very hot. The pan's very, very hot. Once it stops boiling too hard like that, you can go ahead and dump the rest in there. We're going to very quickly add our tomato sauce. This is 1/3 of a cup of tomato sauce. We're gonna stir this just a little bit, and up next is gonna be our Maggi Consommé.
You know, I'm sure this is delicious and everything, but how the fuck is that jalapeno supposed to do anything? It's a whole pepper.
Which is going to be 1 tablespoon. Now this is a very, very popular chicken flavored consommé. It's actually Mama Tex's favorite. And 1 tablespoon of Arnie's Asada, perfect Mexican rice seasoning. And we're going to give it a little stir. Make sure everything blends really well before we get our lid on. A lot of times I have had a question, why don't I add veggies to my rice? Well, today we're gonna add veggies to the rice. Now this is peas and carrots. These will
I like carrots, but God, do I hate peas.
You want to make sure they're totally thawed.
And for whatever reason, everybody in the fucking UK puts peas in goddamn everything.
That's about a 1/4 cup, more or less. Remember, we want to put the lid on, set a timer for 15 minutes. We'll be back in 5 minutes to make sure it's steaming just right. Then we'll be back in 15 minutes to pop the lid. It's been about 8 minutes. You can see the steam rolling out of there really nicely and gently. That means we have the perfect heat. You can really smell the chicken flavor in this rice. I can't wait to take a bite of this one. There's my alarm. Time to shut off the heat. We'll be back in 2 minutes for the fluff and the taste test. It's been 2 minutes. Time to open it up. Ooh, look at that. Beautiful pan of rice. We have quite a bit of veggies in there. You can see.
All right, I'm gonna move on. All right. Oh, Jesus Christ.
At Wells Fargo, we get it. Ella started her business because she loves facade.
Wait. Fries are fine, but proper British chips, triple cooked, pub-worthy, crispy, fluffy perfection. After these, fries will feel second rate.
Yeah, except I like my fries the shoestring style.
I follow a restaurant in London called Fallow, and they've been putting some of their recipes
Fallow
online.
Mallow.
And I saw these a while back and thought, wow, those look fantastic. And somehow Mac saw them and he went, let's do them. Let's show our people what they should be doing to level up their fry game. Sorry, chips. They call them chips over there. Chips. Fish and chips. If there's a country that understands what makes a good chip, it should be the Brits. They have them with everything. And they serve it with curry.
Are you kidding? Their cuisine is terrible. They are the same motherfuckers that gave us beans on toast. Fuck is that?
Sauce. Could make a cooked curry sauce. Maybe it doesn't matter. So triple cooked, not all in oil. The first is they simmer in boiling water to basically cook them through. Then you cool them down. Then you cook them in oil at a lower temperature to get them mostly there. Then you cool them down. Then you cook them in oil with some beef tallow for massive flavor to crisp them up and give them their beautiful, perfect golden look.
Yeah, I know. Fries fried in tallow or lard, it really does make them really good, but it's a bitch and a half to deal with.
And that's what we're doing now. Ready? We got to start by cutting them and getting them in some water and getting off all the starch. 3 potatoes. These are Yukon Golds. They have all different types over there. These are closest to what they use, I think, so we're going to use these. And by the way, I'm only making this amount, but whatever I do, you need more, just make more. The process is the same. So we'll peel these guys. Sorry, I don't know what to say while I'm peeling. I'm peeling. Look at me peeling. Hey, I'm peeling. And then I won't peel them all because I don't want them to go brown, as happens with potatoes once they're peeled. But I will take a knife. I'll go like this. And then I think I'll make these guys. These little wedgie guys, right? And then right away into the water to get them watering and not browning. Feel free to make whatever shapes you like and just continue with the rest until you're done. All right, now what you've got is you got a bowl of potatoes in water. We want to do this to them. We want the starch off. But you see how the water's getting cloudy? I'm now going to put them under the
Yeah, but you also want them to be in that fucking water for like an hour.
Faucet and rinse them until the water runs clean. And when it does, we'll move on to the first cooking. And with our water almost simmering, we'll give a big drop of salt, a little stir, let it come to a proper simmer, and it's potato time. Look it, you can see how clear the water is. That's exactly the way you want it. Now, these guys will go in. What's important is that you have enough space in here so that the potatoes are not crowded. You want them free flowing. Clearly I could have put a lot more in. I got lots of room. The other thing you'd want to make sure is that they don't stick to the bottom. So give them a little gentle stir when you put them in. And now these are going to be maybe 14, 16, 17 minutes until they're basically done. Not quite falling apart, but close. But what we want to do is we want to stir every minute or so. And the stirring is going to, especially as they get further cooked, bump them up against each other and start to rough up the outsides. And the roughed up outsides lead to beautifully crispy chips at the end. Not much to do, but let them simmer away, give them a little stir, and we'll be back when they're ready. Alrighty then, we're about the 14-minute mark. I'm gonna be gentle because they'll break if I don't. Here's what we got. If I took a little knife, you'd see they're there, cooked through. Now we want to take them out. I'm going to put them on this rack gently, spread them out. And these I want to cool down before they go in for step 2, which is the first frying. So I'm going to throw these in my freezer for, I don't know, about 10, 12 minutes till they're cool. And when I come back, fry number 1. You see what's happening here? Look, all the white on them. That's good. That's how you know that they're ready to go. So these pics are me back in the day on the school rowing team. Look at that face. Wait.
Have you ever wanted to see your home from space?
No.
With this free satellite Earth Maps tool, you can zoom right to...
Look at that hair. And I know what you're thinking. This guy rowed? Yeah, I rowed, and now I'm back on the rower. But in a way, I actually want to be. This is... If I dump them all in, they're going to start to break. And they may break along the way, and that's okay, because you end up with small crispy bits. But for now, we'll just hand place these kids in. And once everybody's in, we're just going to give them a very gentle this. Make sure nobody's sticking. In a couple of minutes, they'll start to toughen up. They'll start to get crispy on the outside. That will give them more structure. But for now, we want to be gentle with them. And we're going till they're sort of light-ish golden. It's maybe 10 minutes at this point. All right, it's about 3 minutes left, but let's look. Would you say, Chance?
They've got that like little French fry skin type thing.
They do. They do not need much more. And if you could, oh yeah. And don't forget, they get one more fry after this. All right, they get another minute and a half or so, then we take them out. There we are at the 10-minute mark, and they're looking spectacular. So same as before, we're gonna put them on the rack, but you hear them now? Now they're not so delicate. Okay, these guys are going into the freezer again. 10 minutes, I'll be back. Now it's time to cook them. The oil is on its way this time to 350, where we normally fry things at. But I'm gonna add some beef tallow to this to boost the flavor. And you know, beef tallow is just rendered beef fat, and you can make it or you can buy it. And this one I happen to buy, but this will make these taste so incredible.
Yeah, the only problem is the pain in the ass when you go to clean it up, because that's...
We're gonna let that melt in, and when it hits 350, we fry away. The tallow's melted, the oil's at 350, and these are ready to go in. Lay them in. The final few, little mix. They're much heartier now. They've built up their outside chipness. All right, we're probably looking at 4, maybe 5 minutes. We're looking for color now, and then we're out. And you can smell the beef tallow in that. Woo! And it's time. Goodness gracious. Back on the rack. This is the time to give them salt because this is when the salt's gonna stick. All right, I think we're all ready to have some. Let's go. Let's do this. Oh my God. But wait, I'm not the hugest ketchup guy, but when it comes to fries, there's one way I like them, with a lot of pepper. When I say pepper, I mean like almost so much so you don't see red anymore, you just see the black. That, ladies and gentlemen, is gonna be insane.
I always just salt and pepper the fries.
Hey, oi mates, look what we've done. Triple cooked chips. Triple cooked chips with a side of Tommy K and black pepper. All right, here we go. It's just gorgeous, isn't it? And what's that? Oh, gee, I don't know if you could hear that. That's fluffy inside. Gorgeous, crispy outside. Okay, I gotta have that bite right now. Wait, and now a little in the Tommy K. I'm gonna eat this, but I'll say goodbye now because I might just have a moment to myself. So thanks for hanging out. Find the recipe for these below. Thank you, Fallow of London, for posting what you...
All right.
Make it easy with Stitch Fix. Get outfits you love without any of the hassle. First,
You guys good? Are we good? Okay. Also, I'm just touching a bunch of raw pork with my raw hands. Trichinosis is a lie. When was the last time you knew somebody who got trichinosis? Isn't that what you get from eating raw pork? Peyton, you're not even listening.
Yes, trichinosis.
Name someone. Someone in the comments section, let me know who's the last person you knew who got trichinosis. Sounds like it's from the fucking time of the Black Plague over here. Shut up. What's up, everybody? I'm Matty Matheson, and today I'm cooking something. We're gonna be making something so fucking good, so healthy, so nutritious.
What the hell is that?
This is what my wife feeds me when I've been a good boy. This is me outside. I've been outside, a couple raking leaves, maybe, you know, shoveling a fucking snowy driveway. My daughter falls, breaks her arm. I take her to the hospital, get a cast on her, bring her home. This is the meal she makes. When you're a good boy, this is what you get from old Squishy, old fucking Trash Co. she tried to, I think when she went to like fashion school or some shit, and when she was going to this is like, 2001, and she had like this like fake fashion company called Trash Co. And it was like a fucking, like a bone of a fish in a trash can, because everyone used to call her Trash Co. because her name was Trish, but I don't call her Trash, I call her Squish. So, FYI, Patricia Spencer Matheson. Actually, we lost that name. She took my name fully because guess what?
Matheson's rule.
So this is something that's kind of like something her mom would make, She's a fucking Calabrian, psychopaths. And so this is kind of like spicy, beautiful, roasted meats, potatoes. This is good when you're fucking sad. This is good when you're fucking mad. This is good when you're happy. We got potatoes, we got sausages, we got some fucking long hots, we got a red pepper, we got some curly parsley just cause fucking, I don't think in Italy they use this shit. I think this is some Americanized Italian shit, you know what I'm saying? We got some cherry peppers cause we want some vinegar, we want a little blast town, we got some chicken legs cause you know what? Fucking they're great. And who doesn't like gnawing on a chicken bone? So, this is like Trisha's mom just will season everything with just like some paprika and some garlic powder, straight up. And it makes it really good. You know when you go to like an Italian wedding and they have just like roasted chicken legs or something and they're kind of like dry but crispy and not like soggy and steamy and they're just like seem like they've been roasted forever. Trisha's mom's really good at that. I don't know how to do that, but she makes like really good roasted like chicken legs and they just have that with like salad sometimes and it's really fucking good. So we want to brown all this shit. So I'm gonna throw this in. See, the sausages we don't really have to brown up, but I want to get the chicken and the pork kind of going. The thing that I do love about Trisha's mom's cooking is it really is so simple. Like she won't put pepper on stuff because she doesn't like pepper. She definitely doesn't like, as an Italian, she doesn't really love rosemary, which I find kind of
What the hell is wrong with her? She doesn't like pepper?
weird. And also, like, I'm gonna brown this stuff off and I'm gonna use our special little blend here of spices. But it is like, Trisha's mom has such a refined, like she has the confidence to just like let something be something, right? And I think like that's really nice. Just some good olive oil. I'm just gonna put a little bit, which means a lot. Okay, we're gonna take this and put this in the broiler.
Put a little bit. I proceed to dump half the fucking bottle.
That's how long it takes. This is just like raw chicken here. Can we get a close up there? We're gonna just keep that. We're gonna keep that for the whole day. Jesus, Murphy. Someone's gonna get the hiccups tonight. Is this off? I'm gonna lose my mind. You fuck, it is off. What? How did that happen now? What? It's fine, we're tempering it. The peppers, we're gonna cut up the peppers, and then I'm just gonna cut them into pieces. I'm gonna take these, we're just gonna put these in whole. We're gonna take our raw potatoes, throw those in. That's nice for everybody, little.
Okay, peppers and potatoes to cook it to bucket.
Here we go, little red onion. I'm just gonna put salt and pepper and olive oil on this stuff, because I don't want it to be too monotone with like the same seasonings. So we're gonna keep this one a little more just salt and pepper. And then you can use your tomatoes kind of like lemons, a couple chunkies. Just get some fresh juice on there. Do we have any anchovies? Do we got anchovies or no? Do you think there's a little jar of anchovies in there? There is?
Proceed to dump half a bottle of olive oil on it.
You're lying to him. You're lying to him. Peyton's a liar.
Previously opened and kept in the cupboard.
Yeah, botulism. What? No? Is it?
Just don't eat it.
Introducing Glass Office Chair Mats by Vitraza, the premium alternative to cracked, curled, and worn out plastic.
Just don't eat it. I'm about to feed everybody. Just don't eat it? Give it to me and then say don't eat it.
We're gonna broil it, it's fine. We're good.
Yeah, it's fine. Did I taste it? What if I get the botch? What? The man from Little Rock, Arkansas says we're all right, so fuck me.
It was open.
Just put the whole jar in. Definitely seems warm.
Does it say refrigerate on the bin?
I don't know.
Well, it's too late. Yeah, you don't pass the point of no return.
Yeah, I like that.
It's in Italy. It's in Italy.
It is Italian.
I can't see it. Yeah, but, can we see? But I still can't see.
Come on, man.
Come on. This is tells you how much a nutrient is. Refrigerate after opening. Best if kept cool.
Oh, cool.
How long has it been in there? Best.
Best if.
Yes. I think we're okay.
I'm just gonna add a little bit of this, just to add a little.
Great.
Little
This
je ne
is
sais quoi.
installing
This is
me
just
with
crushed
confidence.
tomatoes, couple plops, couple plops, couple plops, couple plop. This is This is like my favorite food, to be honest. I walk in the house, I can smell this happening. One of my my favorite, my end of meal day, like my last meal on earth is like if Trisha just makes me roasted sausages and potatoes. That is like, whew. Just put the sausages on. Okay, here we go. Italian sausage. You can go sweet, you can go hot. What are these ones, hot?
Sweet.
These are sweet? God damn. We got sweets today. We got hot, long, sweet sausages. We're gonna cut these up. We're gonna roast these fuckers. Ba, 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 ba. Ugh. Boom. Take these, now put these in the oven underneath. Supper's ready. You wanna go jump in the pool? You gotta go cut the yard, you know? You gotta get in your car angrily because you forgot something at the fucking store and you back up and you drive over your kid's bicycle. Then you're angry, your kid's crying. Then what? Guess what? You got this still in the oven. You still got this in the oven. Kid's crying, you're angry, wife's yelling at you. Hey, what the heck?
What's going on here?
Come on, it's a kid's bike. It's never about the spilled milk, everybody. What happened in the bedroom last night, you know? I forgot my rosemary. I'm an idiot. Just take your rosemary. It's fine. It'll burn. You don't want it to burn though, that's a fact. Fennel seeds. That's enough. That amount. Into the oven. It's gonna smell nice until it's burnt and then it catches fire and then you lose your house. Then you will be truly upset. Rolling over the bike, one thing. I remember this one time, my kids love, I make these like fingerling potatoes where I like cook the fingerlings, then I take them out, I cool them, I smush them, and then I fry them in oil in a cast iron pan and make them super crunchy and crispy and the kids like love them. They're like homemade French fries, but they're not French fries and they're nice and whatever. I like put a pan on, put some like veg oil in there, some neutral oil, because I'm gonna like shallow fry, so I just like want it, whatever, who cares? I go outside, all of a sudden, start playing with the kids, we're all running around, Trisha, fire! The pan caught fire, and there's just, we can see there's just, our entire kitchen is engulfed in this giant pan that's on fire. I run inside, grab it with a cloth, just walk it outside, calmly, throw it into the yard. Our entire ceiling of our kitchen is black from the soot. Trisha will still, anytime I'm doing, she's like, you gotta burn the house down? What are you doing, big boy? You burning the house down? All right. She just, you know, they like to give those little jabs. You know, you do one little thing, like burn the house down almost.
Hell, the smoke damage is probably more expensive than the fire damage.
I'm switching from broil now, focus up. Now is the precision, now is the recipe. Now we are focusing, I have a convection on, we are roasting. I'm gonna roast high.
You're gonna flip them first.
I don't care. That's fucking it right there. That's nice. Look at that, you know? Do you see that, Peyton?
Yep.
Does that look nice?
That's very nice.
I can't believe a word you say. A little bit of vinegar, you know? Take these, do a little pop. A couple little cherry peppers just around. A couple little cherry peppers, get them in the sauce. That's nice. Wow. Take a really dry ass fucking lemon and just do a little lemon. Pop is for two people.
All right, come with me. I'm gonna show you why oats overnight is your new favorite breakfast. It all starts with high quality ingredients.
For something like this. This is a lot of meat. This piece right here. This is like my favorite. Look at this piece. Look at that. Has a nice bite. Look at that. That's a nice plate of food. That's amore. You make this after you drive over, you back up, getting something you forgot at the old gas station. You gotta go out, you peel out, drive over your dog.
All right. Okay, let's deal with the sandwich slut.
You hungry? Want me to make you a sandwich?
Okay, she's cubing it up, chopping the shit out of it. What the fuck is she making? Okay, I don't know what the fuck this is. So basically, buffalo chicken pimento cheese.
Perfect. Here you go. Are you hungry? Want me to make you
Let's do beer brats.
My Stitch Fix stylist, Stephanie, she nailed.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Chud's Barbecue. My name is Bradley Robinson, and today I'm going to show you how I made these. Beautiful, delicious, scratch-made, juicy, plump, amazing beer braised beer brats. Coming up. This is some meat.
Oh, he's gonna go all the way.
Yeah. Pat it dry. And what I got here is some chunks of some pork butt as well as some pork belly to give us that fat content that we're after. And today we're making some classic Wisconsin style beer brats, which I'm pretty pumped about because I haven't made brats in a while. And it'll be nice to have some on hand for the summertime because I do love a fresh sausage. You know, a lot of times on this channel I'll make smoked sausages or cured sausages, but having a nice fresh link you can pull out and either simmer away or toss on the grill is always nice to have on hand. But per usual, when it comes to making sausage, we're gonna start out by getting everything cut down. I did buy these pork butt chunks already in chunk form, but some of them are a little too big for my grinder. So we're gonna cut these down to make sure everything grinds nice and evenly and gets cold a little bit quicker. And once all cubed up, we got 5 pounds of meat total here. We got 3 pounds of the pork butt and 2 pounds of the pork belly, which should give us
Of course, with the price of brats, Jesus, you might as well make them yourself.
a nice meat to fat ratio. But into the freezer this goes for about 30 minutes or so to get nice and cold. Spices for our beer brats include some milk powder as our binder, followed by some kosher salt, some granulated garlic, dry mustard, dry ginger, some white pepper, marjoram, some mace, but nutmeg would work as well, some coriander, celery seed, and some caraway seeds. And you could grind those up if you wanted to. Lid goes on and we give that a nice little mix. Beautiful. And now that our meat is nice and cold, through the meat grinder we go. I've got the fine dye on there, but you could do whatever you want. I've seen a lot of coarse brats. I've made a lot of coarse grind brats in my day as well, but today I'm feeling like a little bit tighter and a slightly more emulsified bratwurst, but you can do whatever you like, but we're gonna send it through one time. Beautiful. And as you can see, we've got a nice pebbly, clean grind, good amount of fat content in there. So now in we go with our spices, and we'll get those all mixed around. Ooh, smelling good already. And once everything is evenly dispersed, we're gonna go in with some beer. 10% by weight, and I'm going with a nice light lager, but you can do
I've never done that.
whatever you want if you want to add more flavor. And now we're just going to mix this until it is nice and tacky. And I've seen many different ways to go about making some bratwurst. You know, last time I did this on the channel, I'm pretty sure I put heavy cream in there, which I've seen in many recipes, which is very tasty. I've also seen a lot of recipes that call for whole eggs or just egg whites. But today we're keeping it pretty straightforward, pretty simple by using some milk powder and some beer to drive home the fact that this is in fact a beer brat. But now we're just going to mix this for an annoyingly long amount of time until it is nice and tacky and we've got all the protein extraction that we're after to make sure we get a nice bind on these things. And just like that, after a few minutes of mixing, that is looking good, nice and sticky, nice and tacky. So now it's time to case it up. on with some natural hog casings today. These are 28 to 32 mils, but oftentimes you'll see them even bigger than that, but these are all I have on hand. Tie it off. Snip the tip. And now we begin the casing process. Nice and tight, but not too tight. Something about that big. Oh, these are beautiful looking already. And so simple. Gotta love that. Maybe make them a little bit bigger. Why not? And as always, I like to go link by link because as you can see, all the air is going this direction as opposed to into the sausages, which means I don't have to worry about any air pockets in my links, which is really great. A little more labor intensive, but not really, because this will probably take about 12 minutes to case all this. And for a 5-pound batch, that's not bad. And if you do get a lot of air in here, just take the back of your knife and give that a little whack, get that all out of there, and there we go, back to normal. That hole is small enough that it's not gonna cause a blowout. Very convenient. In fact, let's see how accurate I am with that 12-minute mark. I'm gonna start a timer right now, and we'll check back in. Yeah, I was way wrong. That was 2 minutes, so not bad. These all look great too, no blowouts either. But just like that, all cased up, looking nice and plump and nice and pink. And it's at this stage that proper sausage making technique would have me put these in the fridge uncovered overnight, just to dry out these casings a little bit, let the spices hydrate, and make it so I can snip these apart without the ends blowing out when I try to cook these. But I don't want to do that because I'm hungry and it's dinner time. So what I am gonna do is spread these out.
When the hell do you eat dinner? It looks like it's the middle of the night.
Little bit so they're not touching. Then I'm gonna bust out a fan. I'm gonna aim this right on top, get that blowing, and that should do a really quick job of drying these out. But I'm gonna bring this inside where there's air conditioning and less bugs. But we'll check back in on these in probably 30, 45 minutes. And 30 minutes later, these are looking great. That honestly worked a lot better than I was expecting. Very quick, still feeling nice and cold too, which is good. And looking very dry, which is exactly what we're after. So now we can go ahead and snip these all apart. And just like that, we've got ourselves Bratwurst Mountain. Looking very nice. So now I'm gonna pop these in the fridge until it's time to cook them.
Make some onions for the beer bath.
And to get those brats cooked off, we need to go ahead and get ourselves our hot beer poaching liquid started. Start by going in with some butter, and a healthy amount of it too. And get that melting down. And once nicely melted, in we go with some yellow onion. The one I had was gigantic, so I'm probably gonna do about half an onion, but you know, use your best judgment of how many onions you're gonna eat. And we're just gonna get these cooking down, going with a nice fat pinch of salt as well. A little more than you think, because we're seasoning the onions and all the beer that we're about to add.
I still don't understand.
And I'll go in with some freshly cracked black pepper as well. And a lot of times when I see people cooking in this style, they'll throw everything in the pot all at the same time. The beer, the onions, anything else they're adding, and bring everything up to a simmer. But today, I'm gonna cook these down a little bit, maybe get a little caramelization going on for a nice sweet onion, because I'm gonna put these on top of those brats when all things are said and done. So I'm gonna cook this for probably 10, 15 minutes or so. And once these have cooked down for a little bit, softened up, starting to take on some color, and we built up some fond on the bottom, we can go in with our other ingredients, including a little shot of some brown sugar. This will definitely help the color situation. Also gonna go in with some caraway seeds. Let those kind of toast in the fat a little bit, maybe about a teaspoon each. Oh, that smells so good already. And then we're gonna go with some beer. Oh God, fogging up the camera. Better make that 2 beers. Toss in a bay leaf if you got one. And now we're gonna bring this back up to a simmer and deglaze the pan. And once up to a gentle simmer, I'm gonna lower the heat down a little bit just so these don't go into a ripping hot boiling braise. And that's because I feel like if these go into water or liquid that is too hot, they might cook too quickly and pop the casings. And we don't want that. So now we're gonna poach these in this liquid for probably the next 10 minutes or so until they are cooked all the way through and looking probably white. And after about 5 minutes, I'm gonna go through and flip these all over to ensure even cooking. Not looking very appealing at this stage, I'll tell you what. And after simmering away for like 15 minutes or so, these are looking good. I just temped them because the ends did in fact open up. Although they all kept their shape, which is good, but that gave me a nice little probe hole to get my thermometer in there. And these are all reading around 150, 160, so out they come. And as for this liquid, I'm probably gonna reduce it down a little bit to concentrate the flavors to make sure we have some really tasty onions. But as for these, all we gotta do now is get a little color on them. So let's go ahead and fire up the pit. Boop.
pellet smoker.
I got the old Yoder fired up in grilling formation with the grill grates in there, just by removing that little plate to get a lot of flame and heat onto the grill grates. It is full of smoking pecan shell pellets, my pellet of choice. I've had great luck with these, and if you haven't tried them, I'd highly recommend it. They're super flavorful, nice and smoky, very high quality pellet, and it's made out of 100% pecan shells instead of pecan wood, and I've had great results so far. So if you want to check these out, check out my link in the description box down below. And so far, I am loving this video and this recipe because everything has come together incredibly quickly. I don't think I've ever gone from raw meat to fully cooked sausage in like an hour and a half before, because usually I'm letting things cold smoke or cure or rest overnight or something, but I'm liking this one. Great for summer. And now that this grill is ripping hot, looking very good, I'm gonna go down and hit it with some oil, just for good measure. Make sure everything is nicely seasoned up. And now the easiest part, we just gotta brown these up. Got a little color on there, crisp those casings up a little bit, and add some wonderful smoky flavor. Shouldn't take long. Now it feels like summer. Got this pit set to 350, by the way. You can definitely do hotter if you like, but we're right above the coals. And by coals, I mean pellets. And after just a couple of minutes, these are starting to get some good color on the underside. Ow, very hot. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip these over. Oh yeah, these are looking real nice. And keep on cooking. And once we've got the color we like, and some really good browning, and they're looking nice and crispy, off they come. And to assemble our beautiful beer brats, we're gonna need a lovely homemade hot dog bun. I made these in the hot dog video on Tuesday. Check that out if you haven't seen it yet. Grab one of our lovely wieners and pop that right in the middle. Beep. Oh, what a fit. Then some mustard. This one seemed fitting. As much or as little as you need. And then some of these onions that I reduced down, and I gotta say, I really wish I made double the amount because these are absolutely fantastic. I have been snacking on them. That nice Miller Lite reduction is just so good. Buttery, salty, and that sweetness from the brown sugar we added, definitely making these again. And there we have it. Let's make another one. Bun, brat. For this one, I'm gonna go onions first. I wasn't sure which would look better. Beautiful, and then some lovely mustard right on top. And there they are, folks, in just a few hours flat. Some lovely scratch-made beer braised beer brats on a bun with some beer brat mustard and some onions, and I'm ready to see how these came out. I gotta tell you, I'm pretty excited about this one. It's been a long time since I had some beer braised beer brats, and these ones look really good, so.
Are you researching dental implants?
There's a lot of dental offices that'll talk about doing their teeth.
Let's go for it. We'll go for the mustard dog. Whoa, the texture on that is so good. The casing on that is so good. It was really snappy, but also like really thin. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like a really tender sausage. So flavorful, nice and juicy. I gotta go back again. It's up to 150, 160. They probably carried over to like 165, 170, and then went right on a hot grill. So probably rendered a lot of that fat down, but no blowouts or anything, which is very nice. Perfect weeknight dinner. Brooke,
yes.
Can I interest you in a Wisconsin-style beer brat?
Yeah.
You sound so excited.
Well, I honestly don't know what that means. So, like, what? I don't think, first of all, I've ever had a bratwurst.
Oh my God. Don't be saying stuff like that.
And then, second of all, what makes this different from, like, whatever a normal one is?
Well, it's a German-style flavor profile sausage.
Okay.
So it's got some lovely flavors in there. And then it was simmered down in onions and beer for a while. And then it was tossed on the grill. And those are the onions that it was braised down in.
You mean lovely flavors?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I love mustard.
Mm-hmm. It's a spicy mustard.
Mm-hmm. Did you see they came out with mustard Doritos?
Mustard Doritos?
Uh-huh.
I'd try it.
Yeah, me too. And ketchup ones. Separate.
Only in Canada?
I don't think so.
I'll get some for Matt.
I gotta get some though.
Mm-hmm.
They're really good. Been my second dinner.
All right, that's the end of this live stream, but I'll be on Lord of Patriarchy in a couple of minutes. See everyone there.